How's it going, everyone? Just responding to a tag that I got today, actually, from SwissArmyZippo, and he tagged myself and Smoke Eater 908. Now, what this tag video is about is basically, I believe he had picked up some McDonald's wrappers from some cheeseburgers or hamburgers, one of those two, and he decided to try and do a cut test on them to see if his knives would cut the paper. And this paper is extremely thin. I know you won't be able to see it on this black background, but it's actually see-through, much thinner than phone book paper. At least it appears to be. At least it's see-through in that, or transparent. In any case, he wanted to do start a tag video and see people cutting this paper with their EDC knives, with their sharpening system, basically. And I believe the reason why he tagged me was because I have a wicked edge, and he wanted to see how sharp my knives get with that. And so anyways, the one twist is that he said he'd like us to sharpen a Chinese or really cheap knife. The cheapest thing I could find is my Ka-Bar Dozier that I have, and this is not Chinese, it's Taiwanese, made in Taiwan. But it's pretty close. It's a really budget-friendly folder with a lower end steel as far as edge retention. So, and here's my EDC. This is the Spyderco, the stretch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this paper with my Ka-Bar Dozier. Now, before I cut it, or attempt to cut it, because I have not tried this yet, I did just resharpen this knife. Like I said, I do use the wicked edge. And I sharpened it up to 2,000 grits. I don't have the ceramic stones for the wicked edge. I only have the stones that go up to 600 grit. So I just taped sandpaper, finishing sandpaper that I found at AutoZone, onto the stones. I have 1,000 grit, 1,500 grit, and 2,000 grit. So that's how I sharpened this knife. Nothing else, just with the wicked edge, basically with sandpaper. And I believe these are at 16 degrees on both sides. The bevel is edge. So let's see how sharp it is, or let's see if it'll cut this paper. Not bad. Also, one other thing I want to say is, when you're doing paper cut tests, or you guys that are watching them, I just want you guys to remember something. There is a lot of technique involved. If you look at anyone that does their very first paper cut test, because that's not a normal thing for you to do with your knives usually. I didn't start cutting paper like this until I started watching YouTube videos. So when I first tried to do a cut test, I completely failed at it. And it was on camera too, so you can look at some of my past videos. But I just want to say, when you're cutting with phone book paper or anything, there's actually a certain grain to the paper. I mean, if I have a piece of phone book paper right here and I cut it this ways, it might be easier than if I were to flip the phone book paper over and cut it this way. There's just some technique. There's also technique in the angle that you're holding the knife. If you were to try cutting like this as opposed to like this and slicing it, it all depends on your technique, not just cutting edge. Although you're cutting, you do need a really sharp edge to do it in any case. That's just something to remember. But this knife definitely cuts it. As you can see, the paper's kind of wrinkly. So it's catching on some of the wrinkles, but there's no damage to this edge. This edge is in really good shape. There's no rolls. It's, like I said, I just freshly sharpened it a couple days ago, and I haven't cut anything. But I don't know if you can see this, but you can see when I'm cutting, I'm trying to cut at kind of like this angle. I'm not cutting like this. I'm cutting like this, and I'm just giving it a full cut on the full length of the edge. Because, I mean, it does push cut, actually. You can see there, it will push cut, but, when you're doing a cut test, it cuts better when you do that. But it will actually push cut, if you see that. So pretty sharp. It's cutting up the paper for sure. Anyways, that's the Ka-Bar Dozier, my slightly modified Ka-Bar Dozier. You can kind of see I cut into the handle there just to give it a little bit better grip in hand, but just something I was playing around with. And then you wanted to see our EDC knife, like I said, Spyderco stretch, so we'll see if this will cut it. Still cuts it. This one I've used a little bit, so it might not be as sharp. Let me try and get a fresh surface there. Cuts pretty well. Not perfect, but it's definitely sharp. And this I also sharpen on the wicked edge with the sandpaper up to 2000 grit. So anyways, thanks for the tag, Swiss Army Zippo. You guys go ahead and check out Swiss Army Zippo as well as Smoke Eater 908. He actually did a response to this video already. And his knives are pretty sharp too. So anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll put a link to both of their channels probably in the description, and I'll try and do an annotation as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for the tag. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys found that video, I don't know, found it enjoyable to watch. And if you guys want to do the tag as well, go ahead and give it a shot. This is really thin paper. It's kind of fun to play around with. So take care, guys. Peace.